So I kind of really planned my border crossing into Costa Rica, my routing, everything like that, and it went like perfect in terms of routing and all of that. Like I didn't miss any turns, no problems at all. I stayed at a hotel in Liberia in Costa Rica. But the problem was, for my vehicle in Canada, the registration and insurance are like the same document, and my insurance had expired November 14th, and this was like November 17th. So it was like a year and 1 day from when I left Canada was when I was crossing into Costa Rica. So with the countries up to Costa Rica, I've been showing them the title of my vehicle, like the bill of sale, which in America is sort of like your proof of ownership. But in Canada, we need the registration. And most of the borders are not as professional as Costa Rica. So I got to Costa Rica to show them the title, and the girl's like, this doesn't look like the documents we used to see from Canada. And I was like, oh man. I didn't say that in front of her, but I was like, oh god. So I ended up having to go talk to the head guy, because I didn't show them my registration. Wait and go to the very top man of the whole border for vehicles. And at the start he's like, oh yeah, there's no problem. Then he's like, wait a minute, and now he can't speak English, right? So he can speak English fine, and then for some reason I guess he decides I don't look trustworthy or whatever, and he switches his tune. Now he can't speak English and he needs another document. So I have to wait in this room. Meanwhile, there's this crazy American lady who is totally strung out and is like berating them and telling them her vehicle won't run, and she's just going to lie down there until she dies if they won't let her cross the border. I'm like, oh god, like I'm company with this, like, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, so I end up talking to them, and there's a girl in the back room, and they pull me in the back room, and I talk to them, and I was thinking, I might have to call home and, get my parents to buy more registration for me or something to prove. I was just like, oh god, whatever, right? But anyway, they were all cool, and I was like, here's the registration document, right? They're like, yeah, this is all we need to see. What do you say? I was like, well, it was expired, so I figured, like, the registration doesn't expire, but the insurance does, but they're linked, whatever. Like, no, go. So I go through, I get to Liberia before it's dark, check into the hotel, basic, no problem, park my car, walk down the road to get some food at a mall kind of place where I bought the sandals that I'm wearing right now. I think it's the second pair I've bought in this trip because I've been walking so much. And left Liberia the next day after I booked an Airbnb for a place called Playa del Coco. It's Coco, but it's this beach town right sort of in the northern part of Costa Rica on the ocean, very close to Liberia, which is an airport center. San Jose is the big airport center in Costa Rica, but Liberia is the sort of northern one. So I drive down to the beach and stay with these people, Mary Jo and Flacco. Flacco's a local Costa Rica dude who does scuba, and Mary Jo's like from Montreal, but she's his girlfriend, she lives there, and she works at this hotel downtown. So I stay with them, and the beach is awesome. Like, I love the beach. I'm not a huge ocean guy, but the water, for me to be at a beach where the water is warm, like almost bath warm, is just like a totally different story than being at the beach in Canada. You know what I mean? Like, awesome, right? And I loved body surfing. It was great. So I was pretty much doing that every day, body surfing. Went on some long hikes into the hills. I have some awesome pictures or footage of the beach sunset, I think, for you. And I also have some really cool sort of the overview of the beach of Coco from the hills up above. And one day we went to a waterfall, Mary Jo, Flacco, and myself. We drove up there, and so I got some pictures of that too. That's Flacco in the picture with me with the big grin and the drenched hair. If I show you that one, I don't know if I will. But anyway, left there. I was there for about a week. Went out dancing one night with them or whatever. I didn't dance, but they're amazing dancers. Very specific dancing styles in Central and South America, I think. Actual traditional moves, not just hey man, let's rock out. Anyway, so I left Coco. Coco's kind of a party town, but I didn't party, I wasn't there for that. So I left Coco and went to Tamarindo, which is like a big sort of tourist center. But I did a week of school there, and I stayed just slightly outside of Tamarindo. I don't remember the name of it. It was like San something, obviously, I think. I'll show you on the map where it is. So the map will help me remember the name. And I stayed with a homestay couple who fed me, and I had a room at their place, and I would drive into school in Tamarindo each day to learn Spanish just for a week, so you don't really learn much. A lot of German at the school and stuff. And so the people I stayed with, it was Heiner was the man who's the husband, and I can't believe I can't remember the mom's name. She was awesome. I can't remember her name, but I'll write it down in the video for this as I overlay it. Anyway, so I stayed with them. And it was great because I would come home from school and I'd talk to them and kind of practice. The food was great. I was having a little bit of stomach troubles prior to that, like in Coco, probably something I caught in Central America. But in Costa Rica, you can actually drink the tap water, but I was pretty calm with that. I didn't rush into that. But anyway, so I get to Tamarindo, and I'm staying in this this homestay slightly outside of town, in a little smaller village, and eating the food, and stomach is gold, like gold. So that was cool. The only problem with the school in Tamarindo was there's a lot of mosquitoes, and I talked to some of the students. They said there was a lot of cases of dengue happening. Like one kid who was going to hike the highest mountain in Costa Rica couldn't do it because he ended up getting dengue or whatever. So I met some kids there, and I ended up planning to go to Arenal, the volcano, like up in the mountains afterwards, and I might have had an opportunity to meet some of the kids, and that ended up actually happening. I met them up there. But to kind of back up a bit, in Tamarindo, I pretty much just like hung out at the beach when I wasn't at school, and that was like super cool, super nice beach, lots of body surfing, things like that. On one of the weekends, I guess the weekend when school got out, I stayed an extra day with Heiner and the woman's name that I can't remember. And Heiner played soccer in a nearby city again, another name I can't remember, so I'll put it up there. And he played rec soccer, and it was cool just to hang out with his buddies and watch the team, and totally not understand half of what they were saying because they actually speak at a normal pace for Spaniards, or Costa Ricans, I should say, Ticos, instead of like dumbing it down to my level. But it was just cool, whatever. So we get back at night, and I think the next day I left, that was like a Sunday I left or something like that, to go up to Arenal.